What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be covering Infinite Frontiers Crime Syndicate issue number 2. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with this line or anything going on with the Infinite Frontier line, go ahead and check out the links in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on in this line. Now, this is written by Andy Schmidt, pencils are by Bryan Hitch and Kieran McCowan, inks are by Bryan Hitch and Dexter Vines, colored by Olympics Olaf, Steve Olaf, and Alex Sinclair. Now, in our last issue, we left off with a Starro invasion taking over Earth 3. So with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so getting into issue number 2, we see Owlman just wreaking havoc on some Starros. Wondering possibly if this could be the day that he dies. But he fights that. He fights that thought because these Starros, while tough, definitely aren't going to be the thing that brings Owlman down to the ground. And right now, pretty much across the globe, we're seeing a literal global invasion and everybody doing their best to try to fight these things off. We see an Arnold DC, Oliver Queen, and Donna Troy doing their best to try to fight off this mass invasion that's happening here at the White House. Now, as they're fighting this off, they see the arrival of Ultraman. But Ultraman has a Starro attached to his chest. And he lets Donna Troy know that she's coming with him. And the Starros tell Ultraman, do whatever it takes, because they need her. Now, Donna Troy, this is intriguing to her. This sounds like fun to her. Finally, somebody that can give her a run for her money. And we see Superwoman and Ultraman duke it out. And this fight is literally Titan versus Titan. Now, while all of that is happening, we see Owlman back at the old Wayne Tower. And right now, he's dissecting a Starro, trying to figure out exactly what makes them tick, why they're here, and what they want. You know, he could sit here and chop away at this invasion all day long, but this is really going to find out exactly why they're here and what the best way is to fight these things. Now, picking back up with our fight of Titans, this fight has gone all the way up into space. And as they're in space, they run into the space station and literally crash right into it. And they're so focused on fighting each other that they don't even care that astronauts are literally now floating in space and not able to breathe. They're out there dying, and these two are just focused on who's going to come out on top. Now, Ultraman, he tries to explain to her that she's not getting it. Because right now, the Starro fight is their fight. Maybe not today, but someday their oppressor is going to come to Earth. That's why they came to Ultraman first. He's the toughest, fastest, he's the strongest, and they need all of them. All of the metahumans. And who better to bring everybody into the fold than Ultraman? And the best place to start would be with Donna Troy. Now, we see Donna Troy grab her lasso, wrap it around Ultraman, after hearing his little speech, doesn't really care, and slings him all the way down to Earth. And this is where we pick back up with Owlman, and he's kind of verified exactly what was just told to Donna Troy. Now, based on all the locations of the Starros and where they're hovering over what cities, they're hovering over cities that have metahumans in them. And the whole goal here is to take over all the metahumans, because if they can take over all the metas, they might have a chance of defense on whatever is coming on this impending doomsday. But he has recognized that it's been avoiding Coast City, home to the Emerald Knight. Now, picking back up with the fight between Donna Troy and Ultraman, it's ended back on the ground, and they are fighting brutal tactics. And Donna Troy ends up knocked on the ground by none other than Johnny Quick. Johnny Quick, who's taken over by Starro. And now both of them are trying to tell her, trying to convince her that there's an impending doom coming, and she needs to submit. She needs to subdue to their will. And at this point, they're not giving her much of a choice. It's either surrender to us or die. Because while you would be a valuable asset, if you're not going to join us, then we're going to take you out of the equation altogether. And right before all of them are about to gang up on Donna Troy, something happens to them. They're all in excruciating pain because we see the arrival of the Emerald Knight. And we see him use his ring, making constructs to just cut into this like sushi. But this is when Owlman hacks his ring. And the Emerald Knight, he's confused. He doesn't know what's going on or how this is even possible. But Owlman lets him know, like, you really think you're the first Emerald Knight the Owens have planted on Earth? Like, get real, dude. Now, there is a little tidbit here letting us know that we don't know who the first Emerald Knight on Earth was. And we may never know because they never published 1001 Emerald Knights Legends of the Ring. Now, with the Emerald Knight really freaking out that his ring has been hacked, Owlman tells him to shut up. Just shut up for a minute because I need to download the information I need from your ring. In the meantime, I suggest you get ready for what's about to head your way. Because all the Starros have recognized that you're here and you're their arch enemy. You're their nemesis and they're coming to take you out. And this is where we see all of the Starros come crashing down. And the Emerald Knight and everybody really left just confused and disoriented on what exactly just happened. And this is when the Emerald Knight asks its ring, asks whoever's hacked it, like, who are you? And this is when Owlman shows up with a power battery in hand, letting him know that he's the man with the plan. Now, this issue has a little bit extra added on, which is actually a really little fun couple pages here. Because what we're seeing is Owlman and the death of his family. The death of his brother Bruce. The death of his mother and his father. Getting vengeance is what drove Owlman for years. It gave him purpose and resolve. He became the nocturnal protector to hunt down his prey. And now he has his prey. The one individual he has been looking for most of his life. Harvey Bullock. The individual who murdered the Waynes in cold blood. Now, Owlman is hanging this guy from a rooftop, telling him he's going to go to jail to confess to what he did to the Waynes. And he immediately starts giving this information once he realizes that this is the Wayne boy from that day. And he tells Owlman, like, I didn't have a choice. Like, you don't understand. Like, you don't know who your parents were. What I did to your parents, that was retaliation for what your parents did to Boss Gordon. They made it personal. They killed Jimmy Jr. Like, what did they expect the consequences to be? And this shakes Owlman to his very core. Now, at first, he believes it's all a lie, but deep down inside, he knows something about this is true. And Harvey Bullock, he starts laughing at him. And at the same time, like, Owlman, he kind of sees the humor in this. But now he's kind of moving on. Like, he's free of all of it now because now he knows that nothing really matters. If his parents were corrupt, if they weren't innocent people that were just murdered, if everybody is just dirty, corrupt individuals, why does it matter? And this is where we see Owlman drop Harvey Bullock from the rooftop. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I think this one was actually a lot of fun too. You know, Infinite Frontier has really putting out some amazing stuff. I'm really liking a lot of what they're doing. And all of this plays into the Suicide Squad future state in some way, shape, or form. And we're going to see more of that and how all of that unfolds in the Infinite Frontier Suicide Squad. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and until the next breakdown,